Oh, good. Finally live. All right. So we got some stuff to talk about, you guys. Uh, some some stuff that kind of just bothers me. A lot of new drivers and people in general we're doing out here, and it really gets. So we're gonna have a little heart-to-heart discussion. We're gonna sit down. I'm a kind of a rant video, but kind of not. It, so I need you to strap on your seatbelts and get ready. We're gonna talk. All right. First and foremost, I see a lot of these new people coming out here talking about, I want to make all this money starting off. I need to make this much money. I need to do this. I need to do that. Blah blah blah. I want to make $1,000, $1,500, take home a week. All right, I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up with that. That is the most annoying, ridiculous thing in the world. You are brand fucking new to this industry. All right, people out here who are making that kind of money, they came out here and they worked for it. They didn't just start driving, get their CDLs one day out of Cracker Jack box, and then, did a little bit of time with the trainer, and then week one they're coming out here making thousands take home. All right, we had to work for that. Another thing, this kind of goes hand in hand with that. Coming here, getting upset because your CPM starting isn't high. All right, I don't know what these people got going on. I understand Rails made pay raises and whatnot. I'm hearing the people coming to this company now starting at 42, 43, 45 cents per mile. I came here eating the scum. Back when we didn't have that high pay rate starting, I came here starting at 33 cents per mile. I was running 3,500 miles a week and still getting shit pay. Because, well, one, I claimed single on my on my taxes and whatnot. So Uncle Sam, you know, gets his piece of me after I get, whatever little change is left over from however many miles I ran that week multiplied by 33 cents per mile. Uncle Sam had to get his piece, and yeah, all you guys watching, you already know Uncle Sam always gets his fair share. Never worry about dying a virgin. Uncle Sam fucks us all. All right. So I came here starting at 33 cents per mile. So when I hear these people coming here getting like 40 cent, 42 cent, 45 cent right off the rip, like shut up talking about I need to make all this kind of money. Like just stop. Because I didn't start seeing consistent over $1,000 paychecks till I hit in the higher pay range. Now I make what 48 cent a mile. I make 48, and now I'm at the phase now where I'm seeing over 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 take home a week. Come on, dude. Really? Pick up the pace. There's no need to be driving this slow out here. Hopefully you have to turn off because I have 20 more miles to go on this road. I really pray to God you turn off this road so I can get back to doing the speed limit because this is unreal. Um, so yeah, but they're complaining about this. And another thing that gets me is they're getting on the driver's page complaining. I'm not seeing this kind of money. I'm not seeing this kind of miles. I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing that. But you ask them what you started at. I started at 44 cents per mile. Started at 45 cents per mile. Shit, I started at 40 cents per mile. And you're seeing shitty paychecks, but you're also the same. This is another thing. You're also the same people that are out here who are constantly posting, how do I manage my logbook? I can't understand why I'm not driving this number of miles a day. Can't manage your time. You can't drive. Every time you turn around, you're running some shit over. You're backing, having an incident where you're backing into somebody's car, you're backing over a curb, shit, you get your trucks, you're making a turn, and some of these customers have big ass boulders in the front of their driveways, I guess kind of markers as to where you need, I guess avoid having you drive in the ditch. You're somehow or another running your trailer onto these big ass boulders. You're having all these incidents and you're not understanding why the company can't trust you. You're out here fucking shit up. You're hitting property that at these customers and the shippers and receivers. You're running shit over, so you're damaging their property. You're damaging the company's property. You're always having incidents. You're always doing something that that where the upper management is keeping their eyes on you hardcore. With the micro, oh, thank God he's turning. With the microscope is always on you, but you can't understand why you're not getting all the good miles. They can't trust you to do the right thing. So if you're only getting 17, 18, 2,000 miles a week, you need to do some self-reflection instead of saying, why can't the company do this for me? You need to look back and say, damn, well, what am I doing that's messing me up? What am what am I doing that's messing me up? Stop talking, whatever. So yeah, have some self and self intervention, I guess so to say. Think about what are you doing that can that's holding you back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you're not doing what you need to do. There are some people who, for whatever reason, just it's not working out for them. I get that. I get it. Nobody's perfect. So, yeah. Anyway, appreciate that, Richard. But I don't worry about the haters. At the end of the day, I'm out here making my money, doing my thing. You already know. I already do not give a fuck about what some keyboard warrior has to say. Shit, y'all know who I drive for. Y'all know my truck number. I always talk about where the fuck I am. I'm not hard to find on Facebook. If you got something you really need to say, go ahead and slide in my DMs, ask me where I am, and I'll go ahead and tell you and pull up, and we'll have a heart-to-heart discussion about it in person. So anyway, anyway, yeah, come out here and do what you're supposed to do. Your job is to do strict tens, make your appointments on time, do not destroy property, do not damage our truck or somewhere else, customer, shipper, receiver's property. It's the job. There's a lot more to this. Like I tell people, there's a lot more to this job than just driving. There's more to it than people think. But in essence, it is really not that hard. Once you wrap your mind and get on board with the concepts that you're supposed to be on board with, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what you should and should not do. Here are your limitations. Here's your load assignment. Make it happen. You will start to notice your miles go up. You're able to save your time and have make better, effective decisions within your 14-hour time span, maximizing your miles, maximizing your time, maximizing all this stuff. You have to work towards that, and once you grasp those concepts, you'll be good to go. But understand, you cannot come out here day one expecting to make thousands. You have to work towards getting the trust of the company to get to that point. So you have to work to get to that point to where the company can trust you to take these longer runs or these more high risk runs, I guess you could say, where you actually can make more. You have to work hard and, show yourself approved to get to whatever level you want to be at. So don't come out here thinking you're going to make all this money when you first start. You think you deserve to make all this money because you're a human being. Yes, we all should make a nice amount, but when it comes down to it, you day one in CDL school do not need to think you need to come out here and make the same amount of money as someone who's, excuse me, been doing this job for 2 years, 5 years. I've only been doing it for like a year and a half, and I enjoy the money I make, but I'm not sitting out here saying I need to make the same money that somebody who's been doing this job for 25, 30 plus years. What? And then on top of that, they have no incidents on their record. They have a beautiful record. What in the world makes me think I deserve to make the same money as somebody else who's been doing this job for 25, 30 years? It's the same concept as when I was a cop. Um, when you go through the police academy, you finish, you go through FTO, you're stuck on the shift that you're needed to be on. Like you don't come out here talking about, oh, I'm gonna go straight on day shift. I'm work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Be home all the time. Blah blah blah. Like no, oh, you're gonna get the brand new 2017, 2018 Dodge Charger with fucking 0 miles on it. Hell no. When I got out of FTO program, we were called a relief driver, you got whatever car they had available. And I'm talking about some those cars were so shitty. It's like you were kind of second guessing if you go to pull somebody over and you hit the blue lights and you realize it's about to be a car chase. You second guess if you even want to get in that car chase because you know if you push that thing beyond a certain limit, that motherfucker is gonna blow up on you. Like literally, your engine's gonna start smoking and whatnot. Oh my god. You start hot like Rich, yeah, like my brother's saying, hot seat in the cars. You get like literally you'd show up to work. You have to show up. Roll call was at 5:45. You need to show up to work at like 5 o'clock, just to get the car because the other relief drivers coming in, they got to clean all their stuff out the car, make sure it's ready to go for you, and then you get in the car. This car is literally running 24/7, so to speak, unless the next rotation comes in and nobody's using it. But for the most part, you guys know the best, shitty, worst car to use, and my brother understands what I'm talking about. All the spare cars are shitty, so you choose the least shitty one you want to drive in, and of course everybody else on the rotation knows it's the least shitty spare car, so they're going to want to drive it too. So then those some hard miles you put on those cars. And another thing, a lot of drivers coming out here complaining about, I'm not coming out here getting this brand new truck. Like, they're talking about their bunk heater did this, their bunk heater did that. When I first came out here, I had me a 2014, 2015 Freightliner condo. I was lucky enough to get a condo, but I got the condo, and I was just so happy to be in the truck. I didn't realize how much shit was wrong with it until I became a trainer and got a brand new truck with 45 miles on it. I got a brand new truck with 45 miles on it. I did not realize how much shit was broken and wrong in my first truck until I got that one. And I see people on the driver's page complaining about, oh, my truck doesn't do this, my truck doesn't do that. Oh, it's not doing this. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and say you want to try to get that fixed. You need to be out there turning miles. That's what you need to be doing instead of worrying about, oh, my footwell light doesn't work. What you need your footwell light for? Shit, if you drop something on the floor while driving, whenever you get a chance to safely pull over and stop, grab your fucking flashlight, open the door, and use the flashlight to find what you need to find. Because when it comes down to it, you really shouldn't be fidgeting with anything while you're driving. All this shit I do you see on the phone and whatnot is all voice activated. I'm not fucking my phone once. I'll use my Bluetooth headset that I have, and I'll talk to my phone and tell it what I want to do. I'm not over here messing with my phone when I'm driving. That's not safe. You don't need to do that. So yeah, but you're coming out here complaining my footwell light doesn't do this, or this and this is going on with my truck. They need a company to replace my truck, or maybe you just need to learn where the fuse box is and go ahead and pop that bad boy out and replace the fuses instead of killing your miles where they route you by a terminal where you're sitting for a day and a half waiting to get your truck fixed for something as simple as swapping out a fuse. I mean, it's so many people out here complaining about this, about that. Like you're screwing yourself over. And then on top of complaining, you're out here hitting shit. You're not making your deliveries on time. You're taking 15, 16-hour breaks. Um, 15, 16-hour breaks. You're not doing what you need to do for a fleet manager and a planner to say that you are dependable. You're coming out here having load shifts. You're not securing your load properly. You're not putting the right amount of securement on it. You're not um, you're not putting the right amount of securement on it. You're not putting a forward bulkhead on the load. If you need to put one on there, and when you do put one on there, you're not even doing it properly. Like like I said, this job is more to it than um than what people think. But in and of itself, essentially, it's really not that hard. It's a learning curve to it, but it is not that hard. But you need to a lot. I think what makes you really successful out here is when you come across issues, you need to have higher order thinking skills instead of constantly running and calling your fleet manager, calling the company, blowing up their phone, blowing up their inbox on the PC. Hey, this is wrong. I need to fix it. Hey, this isn't right. I need to fix it. Blah, blah, blah. If you can figure out how to fix it from the road and that's going to keep you running, then do that. Don't be a terminal rat where you always have to be at a terminal getting something fixed when you can figure it out on the road. Sometimes, things arise where you have a major issue, you got to go by a terminal and you're down. It is what it is. Shit happens. But not everything it needs to be a huge issue. Your headlight on your truck goes out. Don't say you need to route me by a terminal. I don't know how to do this. I can't change the headlight. Shit. If you're somewhere you can't change, if you don't know what to do, or let's say you're not close to a TA or a Petro, but you're able to somehow find a way to buy a new headlight for your truck. If you're able to afford it, send your message to your fleet manager. Hey, look, I'm not near TA or Petro. I don't need to go by a terminal. This is what's going on with my headlight. I stopped by such and such, was able to pick up a new one. It cost me this much. Keep your receipt. Say I need to get a PO number for it and put it on your trip sheet and go ahead and the company will reimburse you for it. What does that do? It helps you to save time where you're not sitting down waiting for a tow truck to come for some dude to come out and change your damn headlight. You have to find a routing by a TA or a Petro, whatever, wherever our accounts with. I think it's with TAs. I think that's who we go by. Um, then again, I don't know, I've had repairs done at literally all the different shops. So I know we have agreements with different places, but I don't want to say they're strictly limited to them because I've had the stuff done to the truck at a TA, a Petro, and a Love's. So yeah, I don't want to say it's strictly limited to that, but yeah. Oh, passing lane ends 1,500 feet. Should be able to get by this guy in 1,500 feet. I'm sure actually I know I can because as you can see, I'm getting by him. There we go. Woof, made it. Anyway, I don't know why he's doing like 40 miles an hour out here. Speed limit 65. But oh, now it's just bumped down to 45. Whatever. At least I don't have to get stuck behind him. Um, so yeah, but like I've said, I've done repairs on the truck myself out here. So I just can avoid going by the terminal and dealing with that whole headache of maintenance. Um, Another thing, oh, people come out here complaining I don't have an inverter in my truck. Okay, and your job is to come out here and have an inverter in your truck so you can sit and play your Xbox, your PlayStation, have a 32-inch TV in here and do all this. Your job is to work your shift, take your 10-hour break, get up, and go to work your shift again. And if you're doing your job correctly, they schedule enough time in your loads to where you can get to places like 16, 17 hours early. Like you can do it. Some loads, yes, are tight and some loads are tight and it's like, man, I hope I can make it. But not all the loads are like that. Um, most loads you can get to places about 14, 15, 16 hours early. If you do strict tens and you run hard and do what you're supposed to do, you can get there pretty early. Now it's not always guaranteed you can deliver early, but you can essentially get there very early. I know I do. This last load I just had, I got there. I took my time and I still got there like 16 hours early, and I was able to park on the parking lot of the customer, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know why they have me routing like this. Is there a way I can cut across and get straight to 44? I'm not trying to backtrack. I think what I'm gonna do is cut across up here, and I'm gonna have to come out of routing a little bit. Not much. I'm just gonna come out of routing just a tad bit to get to where I need to go. Trip planning on the fly right there. Although this honestly really isn't a bad route. I'm still running 65 miles an hour, the same speed I would be doing on the interstate. The thing is, it's just back roads. This is why I'm not a big fan of back roads. You got to do them. It's not always guaranteed you can get out of it. Some parts of the thing I don't like about back roads is that at any point you can come up to a small ass town where they kill your speed limit from 65 down to like 35, 40 miles an hour. It's just inconsistent. 65 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour. I don't care if it's on the interstate or not. It's just these back roads just have sprinkles of towns where it just kills your speed, where that can make an overall difference. I like riding consistent speed. That's what I personally like doing. But whatever. Shut up. Um, but yeah, just Moral of this, I'm not going to make a long rant video. Moral of this is just understand that when you come out here, you first initially come out here, you have no street cred, so to speak. You have to earn your respect, just like everything else in life. You earn your respect. You earn everything. I remember people. I know people coming out here complaining about the bunk heater in their truck went out. So I had to when mine would go out last year. Oh man, I would wake up in the middle of the night, or I'd be freezing, and it's just like fuck, like what am I doing wrong? Like why isn't my bunk heater throwing out heat? But then again, it's so cold. It's so cold. It's not throwing out the high heat that you want, but it's still cold. It's still warmer than what it is outside, but it's not as warm as that you want it. You know what you do to circumvent that? You make sure, hey, you know what? I'm out here driving in the middle of winter. I know my routing and whatnot. Most of the time when I'm out, I spend all this time up here in the Northeast or up here in Wisconsin and whatnot, where it's cold as a motherfucker. Maybe, just maybe, I should consider packing 2 or 3 or 4 thick ass blankets with me before I launch from home time. So you know what? There you go, Andrew, my man. Know what? He was a natural, great student. Bro, I had a great time driving with him. He was a natural. He was able to think shit out. I barely had to say anything to him. He was able to think shit out. Easiest what? We were together for what, 2.5 weeks, I think it was? Because you had another trainer for what, I think a week. We were together for maybe 2 weeks or so, something like that. I didn't have to have you the whole time. And yeah, and he finished and Andrew finished early. His fleet manager was a motherfucker, but you know, whatever. I wasn't letting his said fleet manager hold him back because he was great. He didn't need to stay with me for all this time. Andrew, outside thinker. He doesn't have to sit there and constantly complain. Anytime he asks for a question on the driver's page, it is a legit good question that actually people like, you know what, that's a good ass question. He's not asking, oh, how do I manage this? How do I do that? Or do I need to go buy a shop for this? No, he figures it the fuck out. Smart dude. And you know what? He's doing great. Ask him. He's on here. Ask him yourself. He's out here doing well because he's an outside the box thinker. He's a great guy. Um, but yeah, maybe you should pack yourself an electric blanket or 3 or 4 or 5 thick blankets and have some extra food and water in the truck. You know, I'm no genius or anything, but chances are you're going to get snowed in somewhere and you're going to have to sit and wait it out a day or two. Probably might want to have extra stuff in your little truck stop. I'm going to go ahead and do me a quick vehicle check. I haven't hit the number of miles that I need to do one or the time limit, but this motherfucker earlier before I started this live video cut me off, and I didn't have to do a hard break, but it was harder than I like braking. And this load that I have is, I don't like these kind of loads. Just put it like that. I'm not a big fan of it. It's like the bundles that I have are not tightly bundled together. So yeah, I'll take the camera and show y'all in a second so y'all see what I mean. This it's not tightly bundled. So I over secured it. I put a bunch of belly wraps. I put a forward bulkhead on it, um, several belly wraps, and a bunch of straps. I didn't even calculate how much weight my straps have in total securement, but I know that it's a lot more than what's required for this specific load. That's for sure. So I'm gonna hit this U-turn real quick, and then I'm gonna get out and just I'll show y'all the load. I know I'm kind of parking in an asshole-ish way, but I'm not gonna be here for long. I'm legit just stopping just long enough to check the load. On duty, submit, other VC. Alrighty. Oh, flip the camera around. So um, yeah, just a quick little rant. But I mean, I'm not now. Don't get me wrong. There are times where you're coming out here and you sometimes you're doing everything you need to do, and it's just not working out. Um, so yeah, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, there's something you can personally do that's going to whew, it don't look like it. It's a beautiful sunny day out here, but it is, what does that say? 15 degrees. It is cold as a motherfucker. Oh shit, did I just lock myself out? Okay, no, I didn't. Woo. I got nervous real quick. So yeah, not all the time can you not all the time, can you do something differently. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It is what it is. But usually you can do something different. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera. Yes, by the way, it is so cold. I've had snow and whatnot, ice build up on my boxes and whatnot. Even throughout all this driving, they're still just there. So I'm gonna show you guys the load. Why I'm not a big fan of it. There's the forward bulkhead right there. Teaching lesson. The shit has to be right up against your load. As y'all can see, it's like bundles of steel. Oh, yeah. So as you can see, those are bundles of steel, and they're not like they're not tightly packed together. Not the way that I like to have them, at least. Whew, that was a tough one. I'm gonna sit the phone down. This requires two hands. Alrighty. But yeah, I'll get up on the trailer in a second and show y'all. That's tight enough. As y'all can see, some of these I have to add a little bit of extra tightening to it. This is why it's important to do vehicle checks. Just because you throw the straps on and do your thing when you first get the load does not mean it can't shift around and move. Not saying this is a load shift. However, you always need to check your load because it does move around. You need to always check your load because it does move around. So, yeah, I'll show you what the bundles look like from the back. You see how they all kind of bundled together? You see how it's kind of loose right there? But that's why you throw all these straps on. So this is what I put 9 straps on this, 10 straps. Each strap is 5,400 pounds of securement. So what? I have my straps at 54,000 pounds worth of securement. The load is only 43. Make sure my truck don't shut off on me. All right. Throw that back. Throw that back in there. Whew. All righty. Little trick for you fellow flatbedders. Keep your gloves up here. I'm usually a fan of not having anything up on the dash, but out here in the cold, you have your defroster going and the heat going, and yeah, that's exactly right. Steel bars. You have your defroster going. It has the heat going. Have all your gloves and your hat and whatnot up here, and have multiple pairs of gloves. And what I'm happening is you're inevitably your hands are going to freeze while you're out here doing your stuff. It's going to happen. So having multiple pairs of gloves, you can um you can go ahead and just swap them out every 15 or 20 minutes while you're working. Of course, at some point you're just going to want to get in the truck and defrost your own body, but that's why it's good to have gear that keeps you warm, like a thick Carhartt jacket or what have you. All right, let's see what the live chat's been saying because I haven't been able to look at it. Chris, I'm doing good. What's up, Richard? No, Andrew, you are not one of the people complaining. Crack house librarian, stop talking, go away, moron. Okay, good for you. So correct. I agree. Get off the page, crack house. People wonder how we do what we do.
Congrats on starting on the 18th. Be safe. So yeah, Richard, I am almost to Springfield, Missouri. What I'm probably going to do is cut across. I'm going to show y'all the routing real quick so y'all can see the co-pilot and whatnot, see how it works. So I'm going to click on my co-pilot, and this part right here tells you your directions and whatnot. So yeah, honestly, I really don't have that much longer to go until I hit 44. I might just stay on it. But as y'all can see, I'll give y'all the 2D version of the map. There's a 3D version and there's a 2D version. This is why I kind of the routing they have me going goes up here and it cuts across, and it'll route me up to Springfield, Missouri, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's Prime country. That's where Prime is out of. But my thing is, I'm here, about to make my turn, and I'll be bordering I-44. What if I just cut across, cut across here, and just go straight up and get to 44 that way? You know what I'm saying? Try to slide the screen because I'm up here at the point where I make my turn in a few minutes. What if I work with me, screen? What if I just cut across instead of making the turn, somehow or another cut across and get up here on I-44 and be good to go? The problem is I don't want to get on a route that's not a truck route. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll just I guess I'll just let you guys know at some point if I make it. I don't know. Part of me wants to go on these back roads because it's just guaranteed to work, but part of me doesn't. I really don't know. But once I make the turn, it's only what? It's only what, 19, 20 miles to go. 60 east for 9.9, 8.7, continue on where I'm at for a few miles. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just going to I think I'm just going to do the routing that they have for me and just call it a day because it's not that bad, and so I'm not really saving that many miles doing that. I could see if it was going to, I could see if I was going to hop on 44 and get to that point. It was like 60 miles later, but it's not. So I'm just going to run with